Not over where I'm at, dude. I'm lucky if they find us.
Hey everyone, Kellen Brower here from Start Your Systems, and welcome to another edition of Gaming with the Pros, where we test the skills of the professional athletes of motocross and supercross on the video games in which they are either in or games that they love playing. And today I'm joined by Grant Harlan. He is, of course, a professional racer for Rock River Gizmo Mods Yamaha. He's also from Hawaii. We're going to get into that a little bit today and a couple other things as well. But Grant Harlan, welcome to the show, man. How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing great, Kellen. Just trying to get my feet back wet on the video games. It's been a while, moving to California, racing every weekend, driving to SoCal from, I guess, Mid-Cal.
Mid-Cal.
I don't know what else to call it. Haven't had too much time for this stuff, but just recently moved down here, so trying to get back into it.
Fair enough. You've chosen to play MX bikes here. First of all, why? And then second of all, how does this one, compare to just other games that you've played in your career of playing video games, I guess?
I chose this one because it's the only game I've played over the last 2 years maybe, and I'm somewhat decent at it.
Okay.
I don't know if you can see how bad I am actually, but yeah, it's the only game I've played over the last few years, and yeah, it's pretty fun, and I think that's what the fans want, so
yeah,
we're giving it to them.
What's the first game that you ever remember playing, and then what's maybe your favorite game from your childhood as well?
I think the first, I don't know, first ever game, but first moto game was either MX Unleashed or MX vs. ATV Unleashed or Untamed.
Yeah.
Well, whichever one of those came first.
Which console?
PS2.
Okay, yeah.
We used to have a motorhome in Hawaii, and then between the races and stuff at the track, we would all gather up in there and play it on race day, playing motocross games.
There you go.
Yeah, it's the earliest memories of gaming for me.
It's something that I've known about you for a long time, is that you've been even more on the simulation side, less so than just the console gaming side. Why the switch, let's say whenever you did it maybe 5-10 years ago, to doing only the simulation games? Because obviously it's a big hot button topic in the industry of why the console games aren't hitting, but why the simulation games that, it attracted to you, I guess?
Honestly, for me, I feel like I can, whenever I want to play, I can mindlessly play this, even if I'm not playing very well. Mm-hmm. I can mindlessly play this and think about other things, do other things. Or maybe some of the other games that are popular, you kind of have to focus pretty hard on them.
Sure.
And I'm not the best at the first person shooter games and stuff like that, so I don't know, it's just easier for me to play these and kind of do it mindlessly.
What's something that you think Motocross the game could actually do in terms of a crossover between that simcade, if you will, that would not only attract new players and maybe new fans to the sport, but also would still scratch the itch for someone like you that is trying to find a more simulation style game? I
mean, honestly, the closer they get to Reflex, the better.
Yeah?
I think it would, because it's obviously not simulation, but I've still played Reflex on the PC over the last few years, whenever, not so much anymore because they don't make new tracks for it, but before I had played all the tracks, we'd always find new tracks and play that, and the game is just so universally fun that it doesn't matter if it's on console or PC.
Right.
You can just play it and have a good time because it's fun, as well as a little bit on the easier side. Maybe not so difficult like sim or bikes. So I'll be interested to see how they do with it. Is it going to be super realistic sim just on console and PC, or is it going to be a mix of both?
Yeah, I think that, it sounds like their goal is to make it as close to realistic or even to MX bikes as possible, because they all come from the MX bike side of it. But at the same time, how difficult this game is, and sim as well. It would be a pretty tough sell, I feel like, to casual players to also get them interested in something like this. Although MX Bikes has pulled down a really healthy amount of players, over the years. So maybe it is something where you could go kind of more harder simulator and still get a good fan base from it. At least it looks like that could be possible. So maybe reflex, but more difficult.
Yeah, as MX bikes seen a better audience, maybe because more pros are starting to play it. Like I know Cole Davies is pretty heavy on it, which is interesting. I don't know what like the better appeal of this over sim was.
Well, I think it's aesthetics. Obviously, sim looks a lot older and a lot, I don't want to say worse, but graphically it definitely doesn't match up to bikes in that aspect. And then I think that MX bikes found a really good niche of like, people sharing it and showing off cool clips and doing weird things. I mean, they even have like bike life stuff in here too. So, they really try to cater to a lot of different crowds, but I think that you can't, in my opinion, lose with either game. I think that sim is still awesome and has a lot of cool aspects, but bikes definitely is scratching the itch of like almost in between. Like sim is really difficult and you have to spend a lot of time to get good at it, but bikes with the aids and stuff like that can really, get a new player maybe acclimated a little bit quicker, which could, change the minds of some people too. Yeah.
I mean, like I obviously played sim quite a bit before I ever got into bikes, so I think the transition was fairly easy.
Yeah.
Where if I was started on bikes and like went to go play sim, I think it'd be pretty tough.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I've like watching some of your like track map videos for Supercross. Like, have the whoops gotten tougher in that game?
No, I suck more. That's the difference.
I don't know. Like they look like they're way more difficult than they used to.
They're steeper, but I think that all those guys have gotten so good at like blipping the throttle in fifth gear and tapping each one.
Yeah.
I'm just not that level.
I remember it used to be second gear only.
I'm first gear only in the whoops and sim,
wow.
man. I can't even do it. I can't go faster than first gear. Okay, let's pivot and talk about Grant Harlan, the motocross racer, a little bit here.
Spicy.
I said we'd bring up you being from Hawaii and that whole storyline because it's interesting. You don't meet many people that make it all the way to professional motocross racer from Hawaii. And as I understand it, when you were pretty young, you did move over to like mainland USA. But, talk me through young Grant Harlan in Hawaii's racing a dirt bike kind of days. Like, are the tracks insane there? Like, what's it like?
I mean, not really.
Really?
So my dad got me a Pete Up 50, saw some dirt bikes in the back of somebody's truck and was like, where are you guys going to ride? Don't even remember where. But he was like, got me a bike. And I didn't know how to ride a bicycle yet, but that's all I wanted to do was figure out how to ride that thing. So took the training wheels off, figured out the bicycle, got on the P-Dub, then started going to some races and stuff. And on the Big Island, which is where I was born, they had the main track, which was on Hilo side, that would hold races and stuff and was part of like the Hawaii series, I guess. And then there was also a horse ranch, like a horse arena that we would go race. So that was the two racing tracks I'd go, ride and race. And then my dad had a cinder pit, kind of, I don't even know where, honestly. But he'd build me and my buddies some jumps and kind of like a layout out there for us to go ride. So growing up riding cinder isn't obviously the best, and when you fall it kind of hurts, but so we had cinder, and then the main track was like basically mulch on top of lava rock, and then the horse arena was like the red clay.
Wow.
So kind of had a little bit of everything, and then every so often we'd everyone racing on the island would throw their bikes and quads and stuff on a barge and ship it like 2 weeks early to go race on the other islands.
Wow. That's insane to think about. Is there like when you're at a young age, because when did you move to mainland USA? Like
2010.
And how old were you at that
9.
time? 9. Okay. So when you're, let's say 7 or 8 years old, did you know like, okay, I'm getting good. Like this, I could start taking moto a little bit more seriously. Like maybe that's why we need to go race some more stuff in the mainland. Or was it always just kind of like fun?
It was always fun, but honestly, like I've been super competitive at it since I was little. Like maybe not competitive, but like I really did not like losing over there.
Yeah.
Like if I didn't win, I would embarrassingly throw like huge fits. Like I remember one time I crossed the finish line, dropped the bike, threw my helmet, and like walked back to the truck.
Wow.
Which, sorry, mom, dad.
8 years old.
No, like 5. 6.
5 years old.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. But I remember we first started learning about like the Loretta stuff, and my dad's got some friends that live in California that we would like go stay with, and we would break the bike down, fly with it, go race an area regional,
Wow.
and then go home. Eventually we decided to leave a bike here, which was super
Break the
helpful.
bike down like you'd crate it, like you'd put the frame on a crate and everything, or
Just in like those plastic tubs
wow.
and fly with it. Yeah. And then Verona Oaks used to have a race.
Yep.
And I went to that, and I think Mumford was the guy that we saw there. And I didn't beat him, but I was a lot closer to him than I probably should have been. And
Sure.
we were like, huh. You know, my dad started reading up about him and like was in all the magazines and stuff. And I think that's what got us into like okay, let's go check out this Loretta Lynn thing and maybe take it a little bit more seriously.
Did you know then, I guess, from that age 9-ish onwards that like you were going to try to make a career out of it? Like that was the focus because of the homeschooling aspect of it too?
Maybe not the career, but it's what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Something I was good at, and I don't know, just was kind of my life. Like there was nothing else that I would think about going to do. Like I played ball sports a little bit, like a year of kind of everything, and I never really liked the team aspect. Like, not that I was the best player in the world at anything, but like having to rely on a team, and if somebody else makes a mistake and it costs everyone, I didn't really fit in with that.
Well, hey, look, you've made it. You're a professional athlete now, and I feel like many people would probably not realize how young you are. Like you've been in the 450 class for a decent amount of time now. You're a well-established guy that makes main events, that gets good points in the motos, but you're still pretty young. Like, are you surprised at the way that your career has gone to this point, and that you've established yourself so quickly as a 450 mainstay?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think many people know I'm only 24.
Yeah.
Most people I meet, they're like, think I'm 28, 29, 30.
Yeah.
And I'm like, nope, still pretty young, even though this is like my 6th year racing professionally.
Yeah.
Starting to feel a little old hearing that, but yeah, still pretty young. And honestly, not super surprised with my career so far. Like 250 Supercross, I've had some decent years and decent rides, but nothing great. And then 22 like was really bad in Supercross. I think I only made Daytona, and I don't know, I was kind of over it. And I think I quit after Indy Supercross. Like my parents drove up, I flew there, and then we all rode home together, and it was a very quiet car ride. Was not good, and I didn't race any more races that year. Was gonna try and ride my buddy's bike, and then hurt my wrist, and just got ready for outdoors. And even outdoors that year was tough. Like
Yeah.
Dungey came back, and the field was pretty deep, and I did okay. Had a really good ride at Paula on Kiefer's Honda. That
Yeah.
kind of, kept me in the game, kept me a little excited. I even had, I think after Millville that year, I was like, dude, if I don't go to Washougal and like do something, like I'm over it. Like I think I went like 30-30 at Millville, and I was like, yeah, this sucks. I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
And then did the Club MX World Supercross stuff after that, and decided to give the 450 Supercross thing a go. And I'm glad I did. Oh, I'm out of fuel.
Oh no. All right.
Yeah.
We'll bring you back
Gotta
to the
get a
pits here.
reset. But yeah, I did the Club MX 450 World Supercross thing and went okay, and decided to just give 450 Supercross a go. And obviously was kind of a breakout year for me.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's where we are.
All right, that is going to do it for the first half of Gaming with the Pros, episode 2 with Grant Harlan. We'll be back on the other side of this break. Listen to this and hear what our sponsors have to say about things, and then we'll learn more about Grant's career and give him the Race Tech rapid fire questions. So stick tight. Motocross the Game is the culmination of years of experience in the motocross gaming community to launch their own hyper-realistic motocross game. Constructed by a team of the motocross gaming community's most respected creators, MTG is set to bring the game racers have been dreaming about for years to PC and next-gen consoles. Strap on your helmet and pre-order the future of motocross gaming at motocrossthegame.com. By now, you've likely heard that Racetech is the world's largest aftermarket motorcycle suspension modification company with over 40 years of championship-winning experience. And more recently, they are the go-to engine tuner for many racers and teams in the privateer paddock. What you may not know is that behind the scenes, Racetech is also responsible for the engine machining services for many factory race programs across the industry. Experience factory-level suspension and engines available for the everyday racer and tuner by visiting racetech.com today. All right, welcome back to the show. It's part 2 here with Grant Harlan, Gaming with the Pros, and now we're playing the RD Suki Compound. I think it's called the Playground, actually. So shout out Reaper Doc for this one. But Grant now bumping up to a 450, not a 450 guy by trade in this game, even though he is IRL. But now we get to see him actually let it eat on an outdoor track.
Oh, yeah.
Are we going to throw whips, or are we just
I'll
motoring?
try. I'm just going to try not to slide out, to be honest.
All right. Let's get into more of just, life as a professional athlete, life as a pro motocross racer, and some of your thoughts on the sport as well. And let's talk maybe about the hardest part of it, which is injuries. You had a massive one that you obviously came back from Motocross of Nations a couple of years ago. How have you been able to kind of mentally reset from that one? Because it's been a long road to recovery, but also a long road to just getting back to yourself, I think, right?
Yeah, I mean, the physical side of it, like, I hate to say that, like, I still deal with it, but obviously with an injury like that, we're deep, it kind of lingers a little bit. Mm-hmm. And I definitely rushed myself maybe more than I should have, but I also, I did that in October, and I was 12 weeks, right, Mina? 12 weeks no walking? Yeah. 12 weeks, like, no walking on that leg at all. Obviously I was doing PT and stuff, but, not walking on a leg for a while takes a lot of muscle and, I guess, the range of motion out of it. So just coming back from that was probably the toughest part. And then, like, a month after I started walking and doing all that, like, I basically went racing in Arlington Supercross.
Yeah.
So it made the racing side tough, obviously, because I didn't have much prep and was coming back mentally from the injury, like trying to race and something like that where, like, you land on somebody else's bike, and there's nothing you can do. That's kind of a tough one to get over. And, like, hey, that's not just going to happen every time, so don't think about it.
Yeah.
So it took me a little bit to get over that with Supercross, and I think just being in close proximity with people all the time makes that difficult.
Yeah.
But I feel like we're over that, so that's nice. Anyway,
this might be an interesting question just because I hear about it from the factory side, but I'm curious what it is like for you guys at times. We know motocross fans can be insane, especially outdoor motocross. What's maybe your gnarliest fan experience you've had so far, or weirdest?
Honestly, I don't usually get too many weird fans.
No?
I don't think.
You don't have signing the tatas or anything like that?
No, not over where I'm at, dude. I'm lucky if they find us. No, normally I just have, like, the fans that come over, that have seen me at races before and are locals, and they're like, oh, like, finally we're able to, like, somebody in High Point was like, oh, we missed you at Pittsburgh, but glad we got to come over, and it's like, oh, that's cool, like, I appreciate that.
Do you ever get recognized much, like, in public, like just airport or just going to a sandwich shop? Or?
Funny enough, we were walking through Phoenix Airport, and this pilot was behind us and was like, hey, are you Grant Harlan? And I was like, yeah. Like, I was like, oh, cool. This pilot guy recognized me.
Yeah.
But it doesn't happen often, but every now and again it will.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
I mean, you got a pretty recognizable face, I feel like people would notice you, especially now that,
He wasn't even looking at me, though. He was behind me.
How the heck would he have known?
I don't know.
Did you have Harlan on the back of your shirt or something?
Must have been the bald head.
Motocross fans are loyal. The bald head.
The bald head.
Oh man, when did you start losing the hair? What's the story with that?
I started maybe like 18, 19. Like the hairline started to recede a little bit, and then when I became teammates with Benny, he was like, "You gotta shave it. You gotta shave it." And honestly, I was like, you know what? You're right. But I was like, I don't know if I'm ready.
Okay.
But I told him after Oakland Supercross, I'm like, the next main event I make, I'll shave it.
All right. All right.
And I made the next one, and we shaved it.
This will get people to know maybe the musical side of you if you have much of it, though. But you've been close in your career to having opening ceremonies. There's been a few times that you've been fringe, right? So if you ever do get in, what song are we picking?
I don't know. Like, my music taste is, I feel like it's pretty vast. I like country, like rock, rap, whatever. If I got picked, I'd have to do some research on what I wanted. Like, I guess my favorite genre or whatever is like the Linkin Park, like punk, but I don't even know what it is, but like that style of music.
Alt rock, punk rock kind of thing, yeah.
So maybe something along those lines.
Okay.
Just go with something I know.
Yeah.
Or like. But also, if I did get the chance, maybe have to do something unique that the factory guys can't do.
Really stand out.
Yeah.
Is that kind of genre your go-to, like when you cycle or like what do you listen to, I guess, when you're working out?
I don't listen to music while working out.
At all?
Nope.
You just raw dog a workout sesh.
No headphones, nothing. But
that's pretty hardcore though.
But like I listen to music quite a bit in the car.
Yeah.
Like if I'm like in the garage
working. Is it just
working.
like because music takes you out of it when you're working out? Like you're not as locked in on the program kind of?
No, like cycling, I don't like wearing headphones just
okay.
because I'd rather hear the noise of cars and stuff.
Yeah.
And in the gym, usually like, I don't know, it's just easier for me to just go in and get my work done and leave than to try and find the headphones, figure out what I want to listen to. And it doesn't make a difference. Like music is not going to change the weight I lift. So
yeah,
like I said, I just go get it done and get out of there.
Fair enough. Let's bring it back into moto. I'm curious your thoughts on a couple things within the sport. First of all, as an athlete yourself, like living as a pro motocross athlete and seeing how these other sports exist within the realm of things, do you feel like as a motocross athlete, you get the respect you deserve for what you guys do and like putting your bodies on the line and stuff, or is it not really there?
Sometimes. I feel like the core fans, the guys that, do have their own dirt bikes, go ride, have been injured, I think they understand a little bit. Some people don't. Like, I think my biggest thing sometimes, I guess, for me, like I don't make money if I'm not racing.
Yeah.
So whatever I got to do to be at the races is what my priority is.
Yeah.
So if it's maybe not sending it to the max every time I go practice, that's what I'm going to do. Because like I said, if I'm not at the races, I'm not making money. So I guess, that's all I got on that.
Yeah,
but,
no, fair enough.
I feel like the core fans and the guys that ride,
they get it. Yeah. There is one more question I wanted to ask you before we get into our Race Tech rapid fire questions, and I wanted to bring this one up earlier, but you are younger, you are racing in the 450 class, and you have done so for a while. We talked about that. Who were your heroes growing up, and have you actually gotten a chance to race any of them because you did go to the 450 class so quickly?
Growing up, obviously RC was my guy. And then after RC was Dungey. My dad was a big Villapoto guy. I was a Dungey guy. So I did get to race him.
What was that like?
Never saw him.
Well, but I mean, just like going to the gate and seeing Dungey 5 walk by you, like you're probably like, man, I remember watching him when I was 8 years old or whatever.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. But also it's just another guy, really. Like, you have your own battles when you're on the gate. And, just seeing Dungey, like I said, it's cool, but it wasn't ever like, wow, I can't believe it.
Right.
Like, it's just another guy. Probably going to beat me. Dang it.
You gave him some challenges, though, that year, didn't you? Because he was having some tough motos. So
no, I was like...
That was your bad year?
I was trying to score points that year.
All right. Okay, fair enough. But now, new Grant Harlan would have given 2022 Ryan Dungey some challenges.
I did battle AC to the death
at
Thunder Valley in 23.
Can always hold your cap to that one.
That's right.
All right, let's move into our Race Tech rapid fire question. I did make Casey Cochran run a hot lap to do this, but I think we don't need to do that. You're already vibing as is, and we're going to keep the vibes going that way. But
I'll throw down for a hot lap.
Okay, we'll throw down for a hot lap. We'll get over to the finish line and throw down for a hot lap. But so yeah, Race Tech suspension and engines, guys, check them out if you guys haven't already. Of course, they tune suspension for many of the privateers in the paddock, but they also tune engines these days as well, including some factory teams. But shh, you're not supposed to know about that. All right, Race Tech rapid fire again. Thanks, Race Tech, for backing the show. All right, Grant Harlan, favorite track.
Dude.
Case the finish line jump
I'm already
right away.
down. It's fine.
Favorite track?
Favorite track? I want to say Paula just to be that guy.
You're ridiculous.
I like Paula simply because other guys don't like it, and I seem to do pretty well there. I like Hangtown. I'm just gonna go Paula.
Okay, Paula.
Probably my best track.
Okay, go to pre-race meal.
Pre-race meal. I think starting to take after Marshier. He likes to do like the sweet potato fries and some beef in the air fryer that he brought for the team. So I'll go with that.
Okay.
If I had to change it, probably be just nothing.
Nothing.
Yep.
Just go empty stomach.
Sometimes it's better.
Okay. All right. Sand or hard pack?
Hard pack.
All day?
All day.
Don't like sand at all?
No.
All right.
Except for this weekend. Love it.
One word to describe factory bikes.
Unreal.
Have you ridden one yet?
No.
Not even sat
I
on
would
one?
really love to.
Really love
it.
Could do the Dean Wilson program. Fill in.
I would.
I would. Okay. Setting up a pass on the track. Are you going to do it clean or are you going to go for a block pass?
If you ask Mr. Harrison, block pass, but I try and keep it fairly clean. Sorry. Inside joke there.
Yeah. Do you percentage time that you intentionally go for a block pass though? Like 10%, 15%?
20, 30 maybe.
Okay. All right, a little higher than I expected.
I mean, sometimes it has to be done, but
yeah. The type of crash that you have that pisses you off the most. Like, I can't believe I just crashed that way kind of crash.
Front end tuck.
Yeah.
Doesn't happen often, but it happened like the last 3 Supercrosses.
You ever stalled the bike in a national?
A few times, yeah.
And does that piss you off?
Not really. It's more of like I'm an idiot. How did that happen? Okay. Gotta go.
Oh, man. Wheelies or whips?
Neither.
Neither?
No.
We don't toss them out there ever? We don't do a wheelie down the start straight on the parade lap?
No wheelie on the parade lap, and so it's got to be like the right jump for me to throw a whip. Like if I find something I feel it on, I'll do it, but it doesn't happen often.
Okay. Motivation that you have for yourself in one word.
Competition.
Competition. Your racing style, do you think you're aggressive or calculated?
Calculated.
Nice. Describe yourself in one word.
Can I just use
Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Dogs all day. Hidden talent?
No.
None. Not even a single one.
I don't think so.
You can't like type really fast? No?
No. Hand-eye coordination is poor. So like I don't have any like stick and ball skills.
What about like random stuff that you remember? Like, oh, you just pull things out of your hat.
Yes.
Yeah?
If it's useless, yes.
Useless information. There you go. Hidden talent right there.
There we go.
And then your first bike you ever had?
PW50.
Nice.
Or, yeah.
Or what? What was the other one?
I was going to say, like, I had a small quad career.
Oh.
Small.
Do we need to deep dive this, though?
No.
Did you start quads or dirt bikes then?
Dirt bikes. I had to think about that. But I did have a quad at one point, and I'm pretty sure I crashed, and it, like, landed on me, and I was stuck underneath it, and I never rode it again.
I think that's every quad rider's story ever for why it stops.
Yeah. Wasn't great.
Yeah, not good. Well, Grant Harlan, you survived the Race Tech rapid fire questions. We did not do 224, but that started off a little rough over the finish
laps.
line.
We're on a new lap, so maybe
we're on a new lap. So maybe we'll finish up the video with this burner lap right here. But no, awesome to have you on the show, man. It was really cool to get to know you a little bit more. I'm sure that the people at home will really get to know you because, again, you're not the most social media friendly guy, but that's okay. You know, now we maybe break a little barriers and get Hawaii Zone to know some more people out there, huh?
I mean, maybe. Like, the hardest part for me to like do like a vlog, like everyone does these days, is Like, there's nothing interesting that goes on during my day.
Nothing.
Like, I show up.
You don't have like a crazy save that if you had a vlogger in the back of the track they could get.
I mean, maybe, but usually like show up, do my track walk, do qualifying.
Okay, so
just be mad.
I was gonna say, if you come off qualifying and you're 25th in qualifying, we're not having a helmet throw. We're not throwing our boots off. Nothing.
I mean, I've had a few goggle throws. Sorry, Brad, after bad races, but
that's interesting. People can see that.
Don't want to show everyone like the bad side of it, like.
But that's what's needed, you know. Like that's what gets the real perspective of what this sport is like out to the people, you know.
Yeah, but it's always like qualifying for me is where like the bad things happen and I get mad, and then the racing just gets better. And
Does it fire you up in the moto?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Usually the fire I find in the motos is just like if I see somebody in front of me that I don't want beating me, that gets me fired.
Fair enough. All right, Grant Harlan.
223, we did it.
223 lays it down right at the end. Got the gauntlet done. That has been episode 2 of Gaming with the Pros with the man, the myth, the legend, Grant Harlan himself. We appreciate Hardog coming into the show and doing it with us. And we appreciate all you guys tuning in. Be sure to check out the sponsors, Racetech and Motocross the Game. Get the codes and download it early, or get early access code, I should say, if you guys still can get involved over there at motocrossthegame.com/Kickstarter.
I need a sponsor.
Need a sponsor?
Yeah.
And definitely go check out Grant Harlan in the pits all season long at Pro Motocross and in the SMX World Championship. Grant, thanks for joining the show, man.
Yeah, thanks, Kellen.
All right, that's going to do it for us. We'll see you guys on the next edition of Gaming with the Pros.